Hi, everybody. Welcome to Thursday. Hi, Rachel. How are you doing? We missed you last week. I had 4th of July celebration.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
were we were gone last week, so we're happy to be back this week with
Yeah.
everybody. Hopefully you're all joining.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and there might be a little noise in the background. There's road work. Our road, Talbot Road's being re-graveled,
Nice.
re-asphalted. Yeah, so we'll have a nice smooth road here pretty soon. So anyway, if there's a little truck noise, that's what it is. Yeah. So Rachel, how was your 4th of July? Did you see a lot of fireworks?
We did. Our neighborhood engages in many, many illegal, nefarious activities.
Not your family, but the neighborhood.
No, certainly. Actually, I'm not willing to part with my dollars for.
Yeah.
We were joking. Oh, they're so expensive. There was this group of people in our local neighborhood park putting off like bombs. You guys, it was a full on fireworks show. It was insane. It was loud. It was awesome. But me and my husband were joking. Like every time they kept pulling it out of this little tiny Honda Civic. We're like, it's like the clown car of fireworks. Like they just kept bringing these giant mortars out, and every time he set one off, it lasts for like 20 seconds, and Peter goes, "That's our water bill." The next one goes off. He's like, "That's the electricity bill." I was like, "Yeah, we like to watch if someone else is going to pay for them, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to pay for those."
Yes. We were in Bend, and I don't know if you've been in Bend. This is the first time I was in Bend for 4th of July, and they actually I think this is what happened at our house anyway, where I was staying. They turned the electricity off all over town for the 20 minutes of the fireworks show. So all the street lights go dark. And then they set them off from Pilot Butte, which is obviously the central location. And you can literally see them from anywhere you are. So, I mean, I could have walked up the street. I drove instead. I didn't know exactly. But yeah, so just to this empty parking lot, and you could see Pilot Butte. And so I knew that I could see so it was great.
Yeah,
Really great
it's
show.
a really great. Every year we used to take the kids camping in the Metolius during 4th of July, and then we drive into Bend and watch the show from Pilot Butte. And like you said, you can park in any store parking lot and just sit back and look up.
Yeah, that's right.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a really great show. They do a good job.
Yeah, they seemed extra loud. I don't know. And I know that there are some dogs, that don't really like fireworks. And I appreciate that. And then, to be fair, there are some people that it really.
Yes, especially our veterans.
So, yeah, our veterans. So, yeah.
There is a conversation about fireworks right now. And is there a different way or a better way to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, drones, I guess, can do a light show in the air. Yeah. So this is something new to me, but I guess. Yeah. So I'm kind of late to the party there, but yes. So and that could be maybe beautiful without the noise.
The noise, right?
Yeah,
and the pollution. Let's be real. Yeah. So.
Yeah. But I had a nice time. It took me a little time. I was with my 24 to 35-year-old kids, and they go. Took a little bit to recover from that. I was, starting out slow on Monday. So, but I'm feeling good today. So
good.
Yeah. I'm really using now, Rachel, we don't just talk this. We don't just talk to talk. We try to walk the walk. So I have been really working on the 80% that Ahari Hachi Bu. And it takes work. I'm telling you. Mm-hmm. And I'm starting to track it. Mm-hmm. And because so I broke my fast at 9:30 this morning, which is earlier than usual. And what time is it now? Noon. Okay. I'm still feeling well, I'm using that hunger scale from -10 to +10. I'm really 3+ still.
Yeah. From breakfast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, it is that Harihachi-bu it is work, like you said, and you've got to be committed to taking the time out of your a couple of days or a week or so to really, okay, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to track it. I'm going to focus and pay attention. It's going to be my intention this week. And for people listening, maybe this is a goal you set, and it's the only thing you're working on that week. You know, you give
Yeah.
yourself grace on other areas, but you set aside some time to say, I want to figure out my hunger scale, recognize my own hunger cues and my satiety cues. Because
Yeah.
so often nobody likes to overeat. Nobody, we like the eating. We like the overeating. We like to do it.
We like to taste it. Yeah.
Yes. But every
Yeah.
single person reports feeling awful afterwards, both mentally, emotionally, physically. And there's that regret. Oh, why can I not figure this out?
Mhm.
And that Harihachi-bu and the hunger scale, they are the keys to it, but it does take work. Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's
Yeah.
such a valuable practice and exercise to do if you can take the time.
Yes. Yeah. So as you know, we've been talking about these different practices, these that have been learned or uncovered from the blue zones. You know, this Dan Buettner, who traveled the world and specifically looking for groups of people who live to 100 without disease. They thrive to 100 years old, and and to see what was the common denominator. And so we've been talking about several of them, and they fall into a few different categories. Rachel, can you tell us about those categories and where we are right now?
Yeah, we've got 9 different power keys, lifestyle habits. They fall under the category of move, having the right outlook, eating wisely, and connecting. So there are 4 categories and nine habits within those categories. So we are currently in the final section under connect, all about connection. Last time, 2 weeks ago, we talked about belonging and the value of belonging to and engaging in faith-based or spiritual type community and community events.
Yeah. Great. And what is this time?
This week is loved ones first.
Mm.
Strong family ties and social support. And I'll read what it says on the website, which the link to all this is in the show notes. You guys, there's tons of articles, and there's even a Blue Zones meal planner. This is new to me. I did not know this. So the link to that meal planner is in the show notes. And it's free. It's a free meal planner. So loved ones first. Successful centenarians in the Blue Zones put their families first. This means keeping aging parents and grandparents nearby or in the home. It lowers disease and mortality rates of the children in the home. Wow. They commit to a life partner, which can add up to 3 years of life expectancy, and they invest in their children with time and love. And it says your kids will be more likely to care for you when the time comes if you keep them nearby.
Yeah, that's something to think about.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's this whole, the first thing they talk about is keeping aging parents and grandparents nearby. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah. I have so much respect when grandparents, so we have some friends who they're farmers, and their parents live on the property and they live on the property, and then another sibling lives right next door. So they've got all this family all together, and it's just a beautiful thing. So I kind of look at that. My mom is I have family in Texas, which is a little bit far away. And I have to be so intentional we connect on the phone, but to go physically see my mom. So I do have so much respect, and I have asked her if she wants to move out here, but she ain't leaving Texas.
She's not doing it. Yeah. It's tricky in our culture because we are a connected, moving, kids typically go away to college and oftentimes don't come back. They go explore their world and then they move on to somewhere else. Jobs take people across the country, across the nation, the world.
Right.
So it is definitely not part of our normal culture. I think
Right.
in the blue zones, this is more of a normal cultural thing.
Mhm.
People stay in the town where they live.
Yeah.
They, you know,
Yeah.
they bring their aging parents and grandparents in. But there's something to be said about the impact that parents, not just your parents, and leaving a legacy with your kids, but then passing on legacy to the grandkids and the support
Right.
that grandparents can offer both the kids and the grandkids.
So true. So true. Yeah. I was thinking when you said that in our culture, we're almost like encouraged, push, go west, young man,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Get
right.
out.
Yeah, get out there, go explore your world. And,
Mhm.
you want to go beyond and, learn what's beyond your backyard. And that, there's some great things in that. So, and these cultures,
Mhm.
I'm imagining, I
Mhm.
don't know, but you might be able to feel it. And, they're content to
Right.
their small community, and they're more simple. And I don't mean this in any kind of demeaning way. There's a very respectful the way I'm looking at it. So it's a simpler life.
Mhm. Yeah.
They're they have their expectation, is they don't have to experience all this other stuff, like technology or
Right.
whatever.
Mhm.
uh, they're content. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I think that lends to their ability
mhm,
to downshift, to live with
mhm,
purpose, to move
mhm,
naturally, to pay
mhm,
attention to the Hari Hachibu, to drink wine at 5 for an hour and a
mhm.
half. You know, it's really they've created a lifestyle that's simpler, calmer. I feel like it's a slower pace, but
Mhm.
a richer life, right? 'Cause
Right. Yeah.
they're fully engaged. They are fully
Right.
present.
Yeah.
The relationships are being built that are deep, right, and long term.
Mhm,
They've got next week we're going to talk about tribe, having the right
mhm.
tribe around you,
Yeah.
and there's so much to learn from the blue zones about
Mhm,
the Japanese call it the Maui.
mm,
There's a term in Hawaiian I can't think of right now. There's lots of cultures have this term for
mhm,
your people. They may not be family, right,
mhm,
blood, but they're your people.
mhm,
So sometimes I think about, gosh, if I can't recreate this small town, slower pace, content living in my city dwelling life, how do I take advantage of this? Like, what are your thoughts on, okay, my grandparents are gone, or my grandparents live far away, or my parents
mhm.
are gone or live far away. How do we recreate this for ourselves? What
Right.
is
Sure.
that?
Yeah. Yeah. I think we can adopt from grandparents, don't you think? Yeah.
I do. I think
Yeah.
there are a lot of grandparents who'd probably love
Mhm,
to be adopted.
mhm.
Their
Yeah. So
kids
I feel,
are far away, right? And
yeah.
they're wanting to impart
Yeah.
their wisdom and
Right.
support.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, I don't know if they've adopted us, but we've adopted them. Our neighbors who have this, have a little baby, a 1-year-old baby. So, um, the grandparents live far away. And so we're trying to kind of, I don't know, we're not trying to usurp anything, but just make ourselves available in that sort of a way. And it's so far, it's been really fun. But yeah, so we can adopt grandparents or we can be adopted. Yeah. So,
Right, right.
mhm, mhm,
And the real goal here is, I think, I mean, I'm trying to think of the bigger picture. What's really going on here? Why
mhm,
are parents and grandparents
mhm.
beneficial to the health and well-being of the community?
Right.
Why is it healthy to me to have my parents and grandparents around, and then be around for my kids and my grandkids? What's
Mhm,
really going on? And I guess it's probably that level of support,
mhm,
connection,
mhm,
passing on healthy role modeling, healthy,
mhm.
filling in the gaps to help
Right.
support, um, where one person, might be working more, grandparents help fill in sometimes. And gosh, I know
Mhm,
I've heard a lot of like resistance to, I'm not going to be that grandparent who, babysits my grandkids 5 days a week.
mhm.
I want to go see the world. Because truly, though, too, we're living longer and healthier.
Yeah.
Um, Me at 50 is very different than my grandmother at 50, who sort of
Mhm.
sat in one place and never moved You know, she kind of bobbed around, and she acted so old at 50, right? She acted like a grandma, right? Like, so what else is she gonna do? She's gonna sit and like watch the grandkids because she's not doing anything else. So I don't know. Like, there's that tension between, active young parents and grandparents.
That's right. Yeah, and I think the connection goes both ways. So there's respect from the younger to the older, that you have wisdom to impart, and I can't know everything because I haven't lived the length of time that you've lived, and so there's hopefully the posture is learning and respect, and then the grandparent isn't lording it over, or the elder. It's just that this is the place of nurture, support, imparting the wisdom, and it can be just a real beautiful, connection. Flow.
Yeah, I think from my experience with the Blue Zones and the documentary and just the research I've done and kind of following it, it's definitely brought to me a stronger sense of respect and honor to all elderly, right? Anyone older than me, they are my elders. And I wasn't necessarily raised with a mindset of disrespect, but not like that the Blue Zones have a way of kind of elevating their elderly. They are considered like the wise tribal leaders. They are they are to be honored and respected, and they are cared for very well, so I think that I've learned from that.
Yeah. And then they take that responsibility seriously. And in that, then they're more motivated to care for themselves in a way that, keeps them going, because they have a sense of purpose in the family, in the group, in the tribe. And
let's not forget, part of this is also marriage. Part of it, loved ones first, is that people who have a life partner, who commit to a life partner. And gosh, I think the word commit is such an important piece of the statement. There's something about committing, and it adds 3 years of life expectancy. And if you go in and look at the research, and the articles, it talks about why that is, what life partners tend to do for each other that expand their life.
Right. And it probably has to do with more oxytocin, more serotonin, more of those hormones that are consistent, and those contentment, the hormones. Yeah.
It also talks about partners will typically tend to have each other's back, right? So they're looking out for each other. They're kind of keeping an eye on each other's health. And maybe the first person who says, hey, maybe you should get that looked at, or they're saying, hey, we should walk together. Let's go for a walk. They're staying active, maybe more social together. Where one might be more introverted and the other's extroverted. The extroverted one kind of pulls the other one out of their shell and, stay social. Let's go do some things. And
that's so important. And so, and for children too, when they see that commitment with their parents, there's a sense of security and a sense of belonging, a sense of structure, that is so grounding for them. So, and so it's great to build in these rituals into our families. Rachel, do you have some, or have you had some rituals in your family that you could share?
Ritual, like you mean like traditions, or
traditions? Routine, ritual. Yeah.
Oh gosh. I'm sure we have many during the holidays, of course.
Do you sit down and eat a meal together, for example?
Oh, gotcha. Well, we don't anymore because our kids are kind of out of the house.
Yeah.
So, but we have begun. It's Friday night is always family night. It's been family night for decades. Yeah. And what we're starting to do now is invite our adult kids back over to our house, and we're hosting their cousins so it's kind of like it's Friday night, family night, pizza night every Friday, but we're kind of just the hosts and inviting them to come over and nurture those relationships, keep those cousins close.
Yeah.
And then my kids, as siblings, they've got their partners now, but in continuing to invest in their relationships. So
Right.
kind of bringing the kids back home to
Yeah.
keep grounded.
That's
How
great.
about
So
you?
you've had, well, so I'm just kind of thinking through, you've had this ritual of Friday night family night.
Mhm.
And as your family has grown, you're kind of variation on the theme, but you're
Right.
providing that space for that
Right.
connection. So
Right.
important. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think what's important as a parent is without pressure. There's not an expectation or a pressure. It's when you can, we're here for it. We'll create the space and the time, and we're open. If all of you can come, great. If only a couple of you can come, still come. And we're going to interact with you as parents, and then we're also going to let you guys interact as cousins and as siblings, and just create the opportunity. I think is really the word I'm looking for. Create an opportunity and let it be what it can become, but knowing that it's a stable space to be.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of our connecting places is just that morning coffee. Yeah. My husband makes it. He didn't make it this morning, but he makes it, and we just enjoy that coffee in the morning. And sometimes it's on the back patio, sometimes it's on the porch, sometimes it's in the bed. It was so funny because it says in the strategies they suggest, it says get closer. And it says consider living in a smaller house to create an environment of togetherness. And so anyway, we've got this king size bed, and I was thinking, oh, maybe we should shrink the bed to a double. But I don't know. I'm not sure about that one.
There's a country song, I think, by Tanya Tucker that says, "Love grows best in little houses or little spaces."
Little spaces. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember, we used to live. We were 6 people in. Here's the equipment here. We were 6 people in. Actually 700 square feet. Because my husband was adding on to our house. And we had the best times in that small, space.
Yeah.
And the kids talk about it to this day. Remember this, remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Food for thought. Good food for thought. Yeah.
Yeah. So it says get closer and establish rituals. We talked a little bit about that. It says create a family shrine, but in my case, that would just have pictures of people, of loved ones that, we remember and we've respected and we can appreciate and tell the younger kids about, so they know their family heritage. So there's that. And then again, he says, put family first, invest time and energy in your children, spouse, parents, play, nurture, honor, so many good words. Yeah. And, it kind of it makes sense. Of course that would add to our health, our thriving, our longevity. Of course.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Yeah. Well, coming into the end of our time here, but, and I don't know, do we have a second for what's for dinner?
Yeah. Because I'm excited to talk to you.
Okay. Tell me.
Ask me why I'm wearing neon pink.
Why are you wearing neon pink?
Because I'm going to the Tiffany concert tonight in the park. Do we have any 80s babies out there? Well, I'm born in 74, but I'm an 80s, 90s girl. So I'm wearing my neon. I'm going to have some bangles, and me and my tribe are going to see the Tiffany concert in the Albany Park tonight. So we're going to figure out some sort of park picnic kind of thing, a picnic dinner. So I don't know exactly what that's going to be yet.
Yeah.
But we're going to bring a little snacky dinner, to the park. How about you?
Well, I'm rocking the basil pesto. So, and I'm using, 2 cups of basil and walnuts and olive oil, of course, garlic and then I throw some, shredded Parmesan in my blender. And then I'm zoodling my zucchini because zucchini is coming out of the garden like nobody's business. And I'm throwing that all together. It is so light and delightful and fresh and yummy.
Yum. So, that sounds delicious. That sounds, my zucchini aren't out yet. They're like still little flowers. So my whole garden's probably like a month behind yours, I think. We'll see what happens. But that sounds delicious.
It's really good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been a good conversation, and hopefully inspirational. And if not, thinking about connecting with family, thinking about what's for dinner. So
yeah, that's right. Yes, we hope
you have a great time at your concert, Rachel.
Thank
Tell
you.
us all about it.
I will.
Okay.
Have a great day, guys. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.